Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now, and it's the 10th of May 2021, and I just thought I'd take you through some of the standout videos that I watched on YouTube and elsewhere today. And the first one from Hugo Talks, or Hugo Talks Some More, I think it's called here. This is their Endgame, which looks like it was put on May the 8th, a couple of days ago, but I only came across it today and watched it. And basically this is the next stage for proving your it's basically a wearable V-Pass for proving your status going into restaurants and shops and buses, planes, trains and all the rest of it. And this video here, it's only about it's 10 minutes long, 9 minutes long, well worth watching, because they then go on to talk about implants that some people in Sweden are having, where you basically have this sort of business implanted there somewhere on your hand, and all you have to do is just go up there to things to open doors for you, so automatically. So this is just trying to give you a flavour of things that might be coming our way. So a little bit worrying, but moving on from that, another Hugo Talks one. You might have seen this, I've only just come across this today, but I think this is news from a couple of days ago. This lady here, Holly Willoughby from, and I don't watch any of those things, as it's Good Morning Britain or whatever it's called, but she had one of those stupid pictures of her taking the jab taken and put it on Instagram, I think it was. Don't really do any social media apart from YouTube, so don't really know. But yeah, it's a reaction that she got from the British public. And as Hugo Talks explains on this video, it literally was pages and pages and pages of very negative comments from the public in general against her. And I'm not talking about Hugo Talks, the comments here under Hugo Talks video, but actually on her Instagram side. So because obviously Hugo Talks ones would be people like us who would give us unpopular comments, but I'm actually talking about her own followers and people who see her on Instagram, and it's those people who are giving her all the stick. So presumably just ordinary Joe public. So he kind of gave us rather optimistic note at the end of this video, saying, is this a sign that the British public are at last starting to wake up to some of this BS? So you might, if you haven't seen this already, you might be interested in watching this one as well. Holly Unpopular on Hugo Talks Some More. And apparently just this thing, one I covered, is a bit of a dodgy sign for starters. Going on to UK Column, so very much this is their YouTube channel, just not getting them on my YouTube feed at all now. And if you go into their YouTube channel, it says latest from UK Column, and this is the latest one, 14th of April. So we're talking about nearly a month ago, or nearly a month that they've kind of been suppressed on YouTube. And it's certainly not their latest, because they actually put out a video today, but you have to go to their own site now, ukcolumn.org, and you will then see their very latest one here, UK Column News, 10th of May 2021. But before I go on to that, this is an interesting thing I thought I'd just highlight to you, because they said on their video there to spread this far and wide, so I'm doing my bit. The MHRA which yellow card scheme, which is the government's own scheme to report on the big V adverse reactions. They call it the yellow card scheme. And if you go into the MHRA site itself, the information is apparently very convoluted, very hard to get to and decipher, and probably deliberately so, as they comment again on today's episode of UK Column News. So what they've done, UK Column have done themselves, is to produce this very neat, nifty little bit of software. So if you go onto this is literally their homepage, yellow card here, click on that, and you come onto this little thing here. This is the overview of adverse reactions to various things. And before I go on further, you might want to just take a note of the figures here. Very, very high figures, I'd suggest. But the interesting thing is you can actually go into each manufacturer out of these four, and so let's choose that one there, and then under category you can click on that, and let's say you're interested in, well, let's say eye disorders. Click on that, show results, and then you just scroll down, and let's say you're interested in a particular ailment. So let's take this one. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but let's say you were a doctor or medical professional or just anyone interested in that. You can come across here and total reactions, and this is as reported to as I say, the MHRA. So these aren't sort of made up figures, these are the government's own figures, and that is the number of adverse reactions there. Fortunately, none of them fatal in the case of this particular thing, but as you go into the various other categories, sadly there are quite a lot of fatal figures in the column here. So just thought you might be very interested in that. And if you just return to UK Column homepage, go on to that, and then this is the latest edition. So far from their latest being the 14th of April, you can see we're bang up to date, 10th of May, and this is the episode talking mainly about the adverse reactions, and there's also a little segment where they themselves go through that little bit of software I've just shown you and how to use it in a bit more detail than I've just done there. But then they talk about the other newsworthy events of today as well, talking about the collapse of that lot, saying how difficult a lot of people are finding it to get appointments with their GPs, and also here's another interesting story, the unV'd to be tagged in Israel. So yeah, if you haven't got the big V and you're coming back from travelling abroad and you need to sort of go into one of the isolation centres, apparently they're getting so many people doing that in Israel now that they're not being put up in these hotels anymore. They're actually giving them sort of tags, you know, like prisoners are given when they're sort of got the tagging devices, and telling you to put those on and to keep them on for the 2 weeks or whatever it is, and basically treating you like a criminal. So totally unbelievable that is. But yeah, again, watch the whole episode to see that. But that was something that really jumped out at me when I watched that particular episode. Some other interesting ones here. The Queen's speech, expectations. Apparently that's happening. Is it tomorrow? It's actually sort of called the Queen's Build Back Better speech. So that's a bit of a great reset terminology, actually right out there in the open. So apparently that's what her speech tomorrow is entitled. Yeah, Arthur Pawlowski, preacher from Canada. You might recall the kind of footage that went viral where he was sort of telling the police to get out of his property, get out of this property, and calling them all sorts of names like sort of communists and Gestapo and all the rest of it. And they sort of finally turned tail and went away with their tails very much between their legs, the police did. Well, it seems that just very recently, in the last couple of days, he was sort of stopped by the police on the road and arrested there and taken away. And apparently he's now in custody for really what I'd sort of say is a vindictive retribution against making them look like idiots the other week. So just hoping he's basically okay, you know, because it's a bit worrying about what his personal safety is going to be like. So yeah, well worth a watch. Today's episode is from the UK Column News, 10th of May. So I'll leave it there so you can go and check out that and maybe some of these other videos. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.